Hello everyone, I am Pamyu Chamberlain, a PhD candidate from the Center for Media Studies, Jawaharlal Nehru University. My paper is titled Video Literacy and Activism, Video Volunteers and Marginalized Indians. This paper is a case study of Video Volunteers, a non-profit organization based in Goa, which envisions a community media movement in India in which marginalized communities can raise their grassroots concerns, stimulates debate, and mobilizes communities in finding solutions to the endemic problems in their communities. This paper explores and delineates some of the nuances of the actualities of such an endeavor. In doing so, the major source of data is drawn through personal interviews and interactions with decision makers of the organization, office staffs, mentors, as well as the community correspondents, amounting to over 40 individuals associated with video volunteers. This paper also relies on observation drawn from attending video volunteers' internal organizational meeting, from screenings, the organizational data, as well as existing literature on video volunteers. Video Volunteers, or VV, was founded in 2003 by Jessica Mayberry, a New York-born human rights and media activist. This was in consultation with Stalin K., a renowned Indian activist and documentary filmmaker, who had been actively involved in the community radio movement in India. As a rights-based organization, Video Volunteers adopts a strategy of video activism, but a call to action and enacting change is highly valued, rather than just documenting issues. This outlook necessitates the training and enabling of grassroots reporters and a craft of human rights video making and activism, the technical aspects as well as personal and professional skills. This effort begins with the Video Volunteers tapping the strength of its vast network of NGOs across the country, who are called upon to suggest and nominate potential candidates. Based on its vision to empower the disenfranchised, VV adopts positive discrimination based on caste, religion, gender, and other social inequities in selecting its grassroots reporters called as community correspondents. Yet it is not simply a case of just letting in any individual. VV has a preferential view of those individuals who have a historical association and experience with social work in their communities, or inclination and potential to do so. Furthermore, another set of criteria also comes about at particular junctures based on the particular issues and regions that video volunteers want to address. For instance, recruitment of CCs from areas where evictions are about to happen because of government projects, or recruitment of Dalit CCs from regions which is prone to violence against Dalits, and so on. So it is a strategic design in which VV recruits people based on the kind of story he or she can bring. Upon recruitment, every community correspondent goes through various trainings with duration varying from months or weeks based on the working model that VV followed at that point in time. Trainings are not just one-time event, regularly based on the particular needs of the community correspondents and the aims of VV. Training schemes are organized in the VV head office or in the state offices in the past. This can be in the context of upgradation to new technology, legal understanding, leadership trainings, etc. Furthermore, every CC is assigned a mentor throughout their association with the organization. This relationship with the mentors becomes a crucial link in the actualities of video volunteers. The nitty-gritty of a CC's video plan and attempts to bring about change is rested out in the to and fro communication between a mentor and a community correspondent. And in a country like India with diverse language, mentors are one of the crucial factors in bridging this gap. Nonetheless, to some extent, the inability to successfully address the language barrier is one of the key factors why video volunteers' work has been more confined in the Hindi-speaking states. When it comes to leadership, one of the noticeable processes of building leadership in VV is the senior community correspondents donning the role of mentors, not just to the younger CCs within VV, but also imparting training in other organizations. As documented in many of video volunteers' reports, and in the course of the researchers' interaction with many of the CCs, the sense of respect gained in the community, the ability to earn a livelihood, and the confidence garnered over the years of association are some of the key factors that motivates them to continue their journey with the organization. Yet, as per a dropout rate in inactive CCs and video volunteers, there are many community correspondents who have not borne the result that VV would have preferred. The issues range from finance, inability to master technology quickly, lack of space to move up the ladder within the organization, and so on. Community correspondents as full-time reporters and part-time reporters. Unlike the name video volunteers, there is very little volunteer work in its daily operation. The current workforce for the organization can be categorized into two groups. The first group are the full-time employed staff in the head office of VV in Goa, comprising of the mentor trainers, video editors, and other office heads. This is the group with educational degrees from universities, and most of whom can comfortably engage in English language. The overall operation of the organization and the decision-making process of the organizational goals is centered in this office. The second group comprises of over 100 community correspondents who are located in different parts of the country. In the erstwhile community video unit model, which was made in collaboration with other NGOs from 2006 to 2009, the community producers, as they were then referred to, were full-time employees with monthly salaries, while in the current model of VV, the CCs are paid per videos. So the state of some of the CCs associated with VV, since the CVU model changed from a full-time employee to a form of part-time association in a certain sense. The later recruitments in the India Unheard model following the partial association. Changes in the operational model of VV also comes with changes in amount of payment and tasks required. So contention of remuneration has been noted even in the earliest CVU model and even in the present context. As many of the CCs contain, with a constant follow-up required in the activism, many of the CCs feel the inadequacy in payment. To cite some examples, as some CCs start exhausting issues in closer vicinity, the distance traveled increases, which leads to more expenses. Besides, when they are called upon by communities to cover the issues, they go as well, raising unplanned expenses. This financial concern is further compounded by the fact that the earnings made in VV is a primary means of livelihood for many of the CCs, supporting not just themselves, but their families as well, as documented in Video Volunteers Annual Report for 2019 and 20. For 72% of the community correspondents, video volunteers work is the main source of income. Though video volunteers provide the flexibility of letting the CCs engage in other work besides VV, the circumstantial actualities of the community correspondence varies in terms of talent, mobility in the society, and other life situations. Some of the active CCs can comfortably manage to earn a decent income from making videos, but there are also CCs who do not manage to make much videos, hampering one's earning, and such leads to demotivation. And this is a concern VV is also aware of. In this effort, VV had raised the earlier amount paid per mobile journalism video in the current context to double of its early standard, bringing it to over 1,000 rupees. Aligning its intention to let the CCs earn a better income, as well as to motivate them to bring about more quality videos and facilitate change on the issues addressed in the videos. VV also offers a much higher payment for category of videos termed as advanced modules and impact videos. Furthermore, in 2019, a Video Volunteers Council comprising of 37 community correspondents and 7 senior staff was formed. The intention was to look into various concerns of VV, which also includes working out a framework of providing a form of insurance policy for its CCs. But this is a process which is complicated by the fact that the authorial decision making on finance lies with the organization and the complex status of the community correspondents within the organization, not just in terms of the negotiating power of the CCs, but also the varying associatedness of the CCs within VV, ranging from highly active community correspondents closely associated with VV to community correspondents who are nominally associated with the organization. Contextualizing technology in activism. The story of video volunteers in the Indian media landscape involves the harnessing of affordance of technology in its work. The general format of most of the videos includes visual footage of the issues being addressed, testimonials of afflicted people, a piece to camera from the community correspondents, and a call to action with the number of concern authorities provided. Akin to what has been pointed out in the context of Witness, an international non-profit organization, Video Volunteers' communication strategy or approach focuses on smart narrowcasting, balancing evidence with testimony, and addressing the targeted audiences directly by proposing ways in which they can help solve the problem. However, the efficacy of such a strategy is highly reliant on the social mobilization that the CCs laboriously follows. The advocacy videos are used in mobilizing the concerned communities as well as to pressurize the authorities with the documented evidences. In this attempt, it is not just the evidentiary value of a video, but the weightage that is associated with seeing one's locality and issue that also plays an important role. As one of the senior CC explains, when people see themselves in videos, people are motivated to raise the issue. Realization of the gravity of the issue becomes more prominent. Moreover, the documentation of the successes achieved in earlier contexts further becomes vital in mobilizing other communities as well. In all this process, it is crucial to understand the contextual inculcation of technology. Even though online platforms such as WhatsApp, Facebook, and YouTube are now adopted, it is important to remember that as the mobilization of communities happens in rural areas, where accessibility to internet and network is not always accessible, importance of showing the videos in the course of the fieldwork in offline spaces still stays very relevant. Another important aspect of technology in the work of VV is the changes in the working model of VV that comes along with upgradation to new digital tools. On the positive end, adapting to new technologies have addressed many operational aspects of the organization. The cumbersome process of burning swan footage on a DVD and sending it to the state offices, head office, which is both time-consuming and resource-intensive, have been nullified. This had been a huge aid for community correspondents who had to travel for miles to just send their footages. Furthermore, a video workstation entirely encompassed in a mobile phone has its advantages in not just the whole process of the production of videos, but also in terms of distribution. With mobile technology and accessibility to various platforms, communication within the organization has also been made more feasible to a certain extent, even though accessibility is still a concern. However, it is important to note that the technological push with every new model has always been from VV as an organization. So even though video volunteer initiates training on new formats and technologies, accruing the benefit of technology varies among the CCs. This has been particularly prominent in the shift to mobile journalism in 2017, where the onus of producing the final video became largely the responsibility of the community correspondents, which entailed learning new technical skill of editing. While some of the community correspondents who are better versed with technology quickly adapt to the new format, some of the CCs struggle to make one's footing quickly. Inability to quickly learn the new technological tools become a discouragement and a hindrance in the effective function of the community correspondence. In conclusion, one can state that the story of video volunteers in the Indian media landscape can be termed as alternative media, which contest the dominant system of media practices of largely capitalistic nature. In a media system where the concerns of millions of Indians are marginalized, VV contests the concentration of symbolic power in the hands of few individuals and institutions, the power to construct one's own reality and others. But as detailed in this paper, the process of such an effort is far from simple. While Video Volunteers' continuous investment of its time and resources has empowered many individuals and communities who have negligible presence in the media discourse of the country, the ability to carry along all of its members continues to be a challenge. VV attempts to find a sustainable model drawing on the affordance of technology also yield situations where the varying life circumstances of a community correspondent and his or her ability to negotiate the organization expectations impact the relationship of the CCs with the organization. VV is also keenly aware of such limitations. It is with the intention of addressing some of these issues and beyond that Video Volunteers Council, comprising of several senior CCs, have been formed. VV expects the contribution of inputs from this select group of senior CCs in shaping the future of video volunteers and its vision of community media in India. Perhaps the ability of these senior CCs in negotiating more say in the actualities of VV and accommodating capacity of the decision makers in the organization will yield the most sustainable community media in India in the years ahead. Thank you.